Our girl is destitute.
What conspiracy theory do you have?
You're the Feyre.
I'm Feyre. He hates Tamlin. He's also a bit of a petty bitch.
And yet, she decides, let me just shoot my shot and see it. I'm like, girl.
Hello.
Hi.
Woo-woo.
We're assholes.
Oh, God, we're so mean with what
We're
we did
so
with the reading for this week. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Look, this is why our motto is you're welcome and you're sorry. Like,
Yeah.
truly, because and like we did not do it on purpose. Like when we were breaking up the chapters, we're like, it kind of just works because like the next episode, this is the
Is
penultimate episode. So
yeah.
like last two chapters, like that's it.
Yeah.
Like we're done. So I think even when we talked about, we realized we're like, we're gonna have to leave them on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, because I think like we even kind of had a momentary dream where we were like, maybe we just like power it out. Like we have like
Yeah.
one really long like final episode, but then we kind of realized it's like either we have like a normal or slightly shorter like 2 episodes, or we have one potentially wildly long episode. And so we're like, I think we have to go with the shorter episode, but
Yeah.
this does mean that we have to end with chapter 44 and that ending with Feyre where you're kind of like,
Is she alive?
is
Is
she
she
alive? Is she
dead?
dead? And so Ariel and I were already discussing that like we would not be surprised if half of you at this point have finished the book.
Oh, we fully
Because
expect, like
yeah, like I actually don't expect anyone at this point to be like staying with us like religiously, because this is pretty brutal, especially since we took a hiatus because of like
Yeah.
how work has been and like Ariel had to travel and like all this stuff. So we are fully aware that many of you are probably listening to this having completely finished the book.
Oh, yeah. We even
Yeah.
joked about it at the end of the spoiler
Yeah.
episode last week, being like, anyone who hasn't, we're like, "Are you okay?" Like
Yeah, like, we're so sorry. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we will still behave in this chapter in this, episode as if you have not finished the book yet. So
Yes.
we'll still behave in the normal spoiler-free scenario of only talking about, the book up until this point. But, yeah, we're kinda mean with
We're
how
we're
this
just a little mean.
it's pretty it's pretty brutal.
Oops.
Oopsies, sorry. Um, but yeah, I guess just to like get into it, today is October 30th.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is Halloween.
Oh, best day of the year.
Yeah, so my cauldron save me is I hope I am blessed by the cauldron by good timing tomorrow, because I
Yeah.
had to take a last minute job, but I'm also supposed to be trick or treating with my niece tomorrow.
Yeah.
So just cauldron bless me with like magical timing of work and everything kind of working out. I was promised a particular wrap time, which is always a little scary.
Yeah.
So we will see. Really hope that works out. She will be dressing as the main character from K-pop Demon Hunters, which I think
Of course.
probably the majority of children will be dressed up. I will be dressed as a Huntrix fan.
I was wondering, okay, that's super
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, my
Oh
sister
my God, I
got
love that.
us my sister got us shirts, uh, just to make it like we were gonna try to be the 2 other girls in Huntrix,
Oh, yeah.
but the adult costumes were just getting wildly expensive.
Oh, I can
And
imagine.
yeah, and so my sister and I are just like, "How are we gonna do this?" She's like, "So I've been slowly working on on my child of like slowly making it okay if we're just like fans." And
Yeah.
she's like totally fine with it. So yeah, I will just be throwing a Huntrix shirt on and walking about while she has a gigantic like purple wig on.
Cute.
So yeah.
That's this is so bad. I still gotta watch it. I know everyone's like, "You have to watch it." I still have to
Yeah.
watch it. I've been very behind on stuff. But yeah, Dave and I were talking yesterday of like, just like what the big costumes are gonna be. My bet is for sure. I mean, I feel like it's been confirmed K-pop Demon
Yeah.
Hunters. And then I think the big last minute costume is everyone's gonna do the Louvre heist.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I could absolutely see that being like a thing. Also, I'm seeing a lot of costumes for like the like grandma character or something from
Oh, from
Weapons.
Weapons. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I think that's gonna be, I think, the big niche costume, Like, big
Mhm.
niche horror costume. I
Yeah.
actually thought about doing that, but Dave and I, we like to do couples costumes, and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know really what he would have been, except, like, we did joke if we wanted to be lazy this year, we could have gone as kids from that movie and
Yeah.
just be in PJs, and then when people
Yeah.
ask, "What are you?" we do, like, the arm V thing and run
Yeah.
away. Um, but we're like, "No, no, no, we
Yeah.
already committed." But, yeah, I think those are probably gonna be the 3.
Yeah.
Uh, my Cauldron Save Me is also Halloween because Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Mhm.
We are going as so David had never seen up until recently, you know, I grew up a musical theater kid,
Yeah.
so I finally showed him the movie Cabaret, both because he needed to watch it, also I was preparing for Life of a Showgirl,
Of
um,
course.
and I realized because like, we just couldn't come up with anything, and I was like, this movie actually has great costumes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also, they're kind of the OG people who are against fascism. So good year maybe to go as characters who are against fascism.
Yep.
So I'm going as Sally Bowles and he's going as the MC, which I'm very proud of him because he's gonna do makeup and I'm gonna do it for him and I'm so
Yeah.
excited. So yeah, we just got the rest of what we need for our costumes yesterday. It's gonna be fun. We're going to a party, our friends party that they throw every year, and it's very chill. Luckily it's like pretty warm down here because like the party's outside and I am basically wearing like a little backless vest and shorts and like garters with
Yeah.
stockings. So I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God it's still pretty warm these
Yeah.
days. But I also have a faux fur that goes perfectly with my outfit. So I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
sweet, sweet.
Incredible. I cannot wait for photos. I am like, obviously, so excited to see your costume, but, like, David as
Yeah.
the MC, like, I'm so just, like, stoked at like, for him because that is,
Yeah.
like that's a level of comfort that you have to be able to, like, be like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it."
Well,
So
especially for, like, a
that's awesome.
straight dude, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know? So I'm so proud. He's doing like, everyone I tell, like, I told my mom, she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited for David." Like,
Yeah,
it's so cute. He's
yeah,
doing because like, if you've ever seen Cabaret, like, if you've seen a stage production, which I actually have never, but a lot of the MCs will kind of, like, do like, there's different styles. Like,
yeah, yeah.
the theme of the MC is, like, just, like, they're very queer and, like,
Yes,
have, like, extravagant looks,
yes.
um, and it's cool because like, I've seen, like I know, like, it's usually a man who's cast, but, like, they've done gender bending
Yeah.
like, the MC doesn't necessarily have to have a gender, but, like, people like, oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? From Alan Cumming,
Yeah,
like, has played the MC,
yeah.
like, a lot of, like, iconic queer men in particular have played him or
Mhm.
them. But David's doing the MC look from the movie specifically, so kinda like the
Okay.
white powdered face with, like,
Yeah.
the extreme blush. I'm gonna try and convince him to do a little bit of, like, eyeshadow too,
Mhm.
so, he I told him, like, "You are gonna have to shave." And he's like, "I know," and he was like, because I told him, I'm like, "We can do, like, a fun little mustache if you want." He was like, "Maybe a John Waters mustache?" I'm like, "I can do that."
Oh my
So,
god, I
we're
love it.
we're still figuring it out, but, it's gonna be fun. Might be a little improv when I do his
Yeah,
makeup, but
yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, that's so fun. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I cannot wait for photos. That's gonna be incredible.
It's also really fun because my friend whose party it is, Alex, they're a makeup artist, and I know other makeup artists are gonna be there,
Oh my god, they're
so
gonna love this.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're gonna love
Yeah.
this. Oh,
I
that's
am nervous
awesome.
though, because like, I'm good at doing my own makeup, but I suck at doing other people's makeup, so I'm gonna be like, "Don't judge my work, please."
Well, I feel like luckily, the thing with the MC is that, like, it is kind of, like, over the
Messy.
top, not, like, blended, it's messy,
Exactly.
it's very, like, almost like messy doll kind of,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
style, so I feel like you're kind of in, like, a safe space with that, like, it doesn't have to be, like you're not like contouring David,
No,
like
it's truly the only reason I'm like, "Okay, I think I can do
yeah,
this."
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't have
exactly.
I don't have the steadiest of hands doing on other people, and that might work in my favor this
Yeah, yeah,
time.
exactly. You're like, just let it go. Just let it
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. But, I was a little tempted to do something from ACOTAR this year, but I'm like,
Mm.
maybe later down the line, because that is expensive. So
Oh, it's expensive and it's like yeah, it's expensive and it's like so niche that
yeah,
like it's really only gonna hit for like a particular group of people, which, is fine.
totally.
But I would say if you're gonna do that, let's just like buy tickets to a Fey ball and call it a
Oh, I
day.
was gonna say, it would definitely I'm gonna do it at some point because 'cause it'll double for Ren Fair, right? Like,
Oh
if
yeah.
we ever do one of the Fae balls,
Yeah.
so, like, I'm already planning because the party I'm going to tomorrow, like, that group of friends, they do the Ren Fair every year,
Okay.
and so I'm like, we're doing it next year, we need to, and, like,
Yeah.
this is a great excuse for, like, my ACOTAR or, like,
Totally.
Mass cosplay,
Totally.
so,
Well, cause,
yeah.
cause I mean, I think I told you, but, like, Dee and I already have a plan that all 3 of us are going to a
Yes.
Fae ball together.
Ugh, yes.
Okay. So,
Let's dive in, man.
chapters 43 and 44. So, where we left off is, kinda interesting because we sort of had a depressive episode chapter
Yep.
with, Sweet Baby Feyre. Um Hearing some weird stuff about the King of Hybern, kind of getting, like, kind of some information that honestly right now doesn't feel very pertinent. Like, it's like
No.
Farah has such bigger things to worry about, but it more taught us a little bit more about, like, the Shadow Twins and kind of Rhysand and sort of like, wait, like, they're spying, that's
Yep.
interesting. We got some music sent down into the cell, which basically saved her.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have this party that, kind of like what we basically end up realizing is pretty much her last party.
Yeah.
Um, and she has a sexual encounter with Tamlin, and
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
But then it ends with kind of us learning that Rhysand is actually I mean, I think Ariel and I ended the episode with saying that, like, we believe him of, like,
Yeah.
he is actually on our side. It's not just that he wants to get rid of Amarantha, it's that he wants to get rid of a tyrant.
Yes.
Um, and that he's actually been kind of being sort of a double agent and
Yeah.
playing this side of slowly working Feyre in to kind of be this not just savior of the Spring Court, but like savior of all of them because he
Yeah.
has this plan of riling Tamlin up so that way when Feyre does win, Tamlin will like go and kill Amarantha. And like we have this very interesting conversation between Feyre and Rhysand of where he is wildly vulnerable and shares a lot of information.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say she also, aside from having a sexual encounter with Tamlin, had a bit of a sexual encounter
Mm,
or less, not sex, but making out with Rhysand,
yeah.
which I think we left it sort of on this question of like, was that purely a tactic to protect them all? Or were there some feelings mixed in there? And I have that question even more now because of these chapters.
Yes, I think that is a very reasonable thing.
Yeah.
The resand we experience in chapter 44 is uh intense. Um
Yeah.
and kind of exposes some things that definitely have some questions about.
I think it's at this point safe to talk about it in this episode because it's happened again. I don't know if y'all caught this. I know we talked about it in the spoiler episode, but Feyre has in her
Mm,
mind started referring to Rhysand sometimes as Reese,
yeah.
not the full Rhysand, which if you remember back many chapters ago when he
Mhm.
comes to visit the Spring Court, he tells Tamlin, "Oh, you're calling me Rhysand? Only my enemies call me that. Like my
Yeah.
friends call me Reese, right?" So I think we figured out that started happening a couple chapters ago.
Yeah.
Um, and it's interesting.
It is. It is
Yeah.
because it means she is kind of slowly making a switch in her head, which I think kind of tells us that she, just like we have been feeling as readers, she is slowly trusting him
Mhm.
more. And it's funny you say that because literally the first page of chapter 43,
Yeah.
she refers to Rhysand as Rhys.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, it's yeah, there is this kind of, like, progression that is happening because I believe that Feyre believes him as well
I
at the
think
end of the
so.
last chapter, that, like, he
Yeah.
actually is on her side in the degree of wanting to beat Amarantha, and I think, at first, Ariel and I had discussions of, like, does he just want her out of the way because he wants all the power? And I think in the
Right.
last chapter, it was like, no, like, he wants to get rid of a tyrant, like, and that is not something he wants for his people.
Right.
Whether you guys believe him or not, I know I do,
Yeah, same.
um, mainly just because I don't really see the point of him playing this card right before the end, like,
Right.
for nefarious reasons, like,
Yes. Especially we'll get into it once we get to chapter 44, but, like, he risks his life.
yeah, and I would say in these 2 chapters, I feel like it is proven what his goal is, like, he literally does, especially in chapter 44, right? He actively does try to kill Amarantha, and
Yeah.
he can't,
Right.
but yeah, so I think at this point, we can pretty much it's safe to say that, like, we're at least majority aligned. Like, Rhysand is
Yes.
at least majority aligned with, like, kind of what we want, like,
He's a
for the
comrade in arms.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, 43, final task. Um,
Yeah. I mean, literally, the very beginning, she says, "Their world rested on my shoulders," Reese had said. Like, and it's true. And I mean, we see that later on. Like, it was a really, I don't know if eerie is the right word, but
mm,
a
mm.
very reverent
Yes.
moment, right? As Fair is being walked into this final trial, and like kind of shocking because in the past, these fairies were like jeering at her. They were laughing, they were mocking her, especially that first trial, right?
Mhm.
Like betting against her. And now there's this reverent silence for her as she walks in. And at one point she says, I had to swallow hard as a few of them touched their fingers to their lips, then extended their hands to me, a gesture for the fallen, a farewell to honor the dead. Which just like if you've read like the Hunger Games,
Yep,
that like
yep.
reminds me so much of like the doo 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 doo,
Hardcore.
like the
Yeah,
three fingers.
yeah.
Um, it's a big change from what we've seen from everyone.
Totally. I literally have in my notes multiple times, like, this is a complete change of atmosphere.
Yeah,
Like, it is no longer this, like, gladiator kind of, like, vibe. It
yeah,
is, I think reverent is the perfect word. I think some of these fairies are slowly kind of realizing that, like, this may actually happen.
yeah,
And while some of these fairies are down there and more of support of Amarantha, there's also a lot of fairies that are down there that are literally imprisoned, and, like, they are
yes,
not there because they wanna be. And
yeah,
so I feel like it switched from, "Let's just have some entertainment to survive because everything sucks," to, like,
yeah,
"Oh, this is, like, a possibility. Like,
yeah,
she may actually succeed."
yeah,
And I think that's, yeah, it just it's gonna change, it's gonna change the air. And I also kind of had a question of, like, I feel like this, not a question, but I feel like this vibe gives Feyre, like, more confidence. Like, I feel like
yeah,
she she is feeling respected. I mean, she's being given a visual sign of respect from some of these fairies, like, as you said. And I think
yeah,
also just the combination of Tamlin finally giving her some kind of interaction at the party,
yeah,
Rhysand kind of declaring this rebellion that he's been sort of slowly working on. I feel like
yeah,
it probably has opened her eyes a little bit more to be like, I wonder how many other fairies are, like, you know, rebelling, like, have been slowly rebelling, like, as well. Like, I
yeah,
feel like there's, in the last 2 chapters, I think there were enough little things that with the addition of this, like, reverent atmosphere, I think all this reverence is, like, giving her confidence because, like, and she kinda says it, like, on 387, she's she is clocking she's constantly saying, she's like, "Everything is quiet," like, even Lucian's brothers are quiet, and, like,
Yeah.
she even kinda starts tearing up, like, because of it, and she's like, "Perhaps, like Rhysand, their oaths of allegiance and betting on my life and nastiness had been a show," right? Kinda like what I just
Yeah.
said. She's like, "And perhaps now that the end was imminent, they too would face my potential death with whatever dignity they had left." And so I
Yeah.
think that kinda goes to what I just said of sort of this, like, everyone is feeling more confident in their rebellion as well, if that is
Yes.
where they are landing. Um,
Yeah.
and what's fascinating too is Amarantha clocks it. Like, she clocks that this is different, right? Like, it says that she's glaring at them, that she's just kinda like, "What the fuck?" You know, like, she wants the party, she wants the kind of show of it all, and no one's really giving it to her. Like,
Yeah.
it even kinda says at the end of this page, Amarantha says some like, "You'll be lucky, my darling, if we even have enough left for you to burn."
Yeah.
And it says, "But her words were not met with jeers or smiles or applause from the crowd, only silence."
Yeah.
And that immediately it says this gift, it gave me courage, right? Like, she's not feeling so alone anymore, which was so much what of like what chapter 41 was, of her just feeling so alone and like having no ground beneath her. And it's just kind of fascinating that this whole like walk in is like completely different.
It's so different, and I think that I mean, I'm really glad you pointed out there are different camps of the fairies. There's
Yeah.
some that are secretly hoping Feyre wins, and then there are some that are pro Amarantha. And I think regardless of which camp they're in, they're all realizing we're gonna get an answer to this in a mere matter of minutes, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's so funny, not to like totally switch subjects, but like the amount of foreshadowing in this chapter is so funny to me
Mm.
because like, and this is something new readers to the Mass verse you'll see, like, Sarah is a master of foreshadowing. And the first thing that I noticed was on page 387. Feyre says, "I came up with a plethora of curses, but I instead looked at Tamlin. He didn't react. His features were like stone." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh,
Like,
that, oh my God. I love how I didn't even catch that.
the amount of times that, like, it's so fascinating, especially during a reread. If you ever
Yeah.
reread any of her books, like, we've talked about this, I know, in the spoiler section, the amount of times that the foreshadowing is so obvious, but only in hindsight, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's by design that way. It's so funny because like on the next page on 388, Amarantha says, "You never figured out my riddle, did you? Pity. The answer is lovely." Like, literally, the answer, we can say it finally now. The answer to
Yeah.
the riddle is love.
Right.
She almost says the exact answer to it's, I mean, she's taunting her,
Yeah.
obviously.
Absolutely.
But I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I just, like, kinda wanted to throw my book across the room both times of, like, she's telling us. She's
Yeah.
fucking telling us.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, and it is funny, like, now that we can talk about, like, the Heart of Stone thing,
I
like,
know.
there I mean, and, it's what helps Feyre get to that point, right? Is,
Yeah.
like, she starts to have this kind of flashback
Rapid,
moment
like,
of, like, oh, all this stuff, like, Heart of Stone and blah, 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 but, like, it is really wild when you do the reread, like, how many times Lucian says it, how many times there's,
oh,
like, this discussion of him, like, not feeling what X, Y, and Z or whatever, and it is
yeah.
really funny where you're just like, "Oh my God," like, wow, like, she really does kinda, like, put it in front of you, like, on a platter, but we don't see it because these are natural turn of phrases,
Yeah.
like, you know, but yeah, no, the
And
first shot, I totally missed out on Amarantha saying it's so lovely. God, what a fucking bitch, dude.
what
She
a
is such a
bitch.
bitch.
I think I referred to this in the spoiler episodes, but, like, this book in particular, if you've ever seen the show Arrested Development, where, like, I think it's the first episode where the dad says, like, "There's always money in the banana stand," and everyone thinks, like, "Oh, he's just talking about, like, you'll make money with this banana stand," and then there's, like, literally cash in the walls, and
In
he's
the
like, "No,
banana
there's
stand. Yeah,
literally money in the
yeah,
banana stand." Like,
yeah,
there have been so many times in this book whether it's the Heart of Stone or the whole, like, the answer is love thing
Yeah.
or other things that we haven't even gotten to yet,
Yeah.
that I'm like, "Oh, this really is Arrested Development,
Yeah. Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
it?"
It's pretty insane,
Yeah,
actually. That's kind of what's been wild for Ariel and I in this process of just like,
yeah,
because it's her first reread, as we've said many times, and
yeah,
it's just like the stuff that she is clocking, and like and even the stuff that I am clocking after having read this many times, like
yeah.
it's pretty fascinating. So once you guys get like a beat, if you go through the whole series or whatever, like do a reread. It's just
So
it's
fun.
quite an experience. But yes, wow, foreshadowing. And
Ugh.
like, but like this fucking task is
It
just
it's the most
beyond.
brutal. It's the
Well,
most brutal.
and I just feel like I mean, it's so on brand for Amarantha, right?
Yeah,
Like we have really learned, we were told that she was an excellent torturer and an
yep,
excellent blah 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 blah. Blah. She's bad. Okay.
yeah,
But the like between pulling apart the curse that she created, which is like still it's still the most minefield. Like there's no world that Tamlin comes out of that curse, like not like he doesn't come out. How do I phrase this? It's really hard for him to come out of this curse as like 100% a good guy. Like
yeah,
she made it impossible. And so
yeah.
my heart for Tamlin with this curse is just like beyond. But then these tasks and then this final one
I
is just basically for Feyre to win. She pretty much has to kill her, like, own humanity. Like, that
yes.
is basically what is going on, because also throughout this entire book, there's been this discussion of Feyre being like, "I'm not a murderer," right?
Right.
Like, that is not that's why she does feel such eventually such sadness and regret when it comes to, um, Andreas. And when it comes
Yes.
to like she feels such, and we even get a little snippet of it in this chapter when she talks about like how bad she felt after she killed a rabbit to like feed her family. Like this is the worst task for Feyre.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm so glad you brought it up because I was gonna bring up the rabbit. I can't find the quote I wrote down, but, like, Feyre, I think for her, she has been able to, validate the hunting she has done because it
Yeah.
was survival, right? Which, like, look, I I am not about to sit here with my privileged ass and, like, shame anyone for hunting for food. Like, no, no,
No.
no. Hunting for food when that's your only means of food, at
Yeah.
least. Like, not at all. But even still, she feels guilty for that. So then to like endure this
Yeah.
is beyond. And something I'm can finally talk about with our spoiler free friends is
Mhm.
because we've talked about it with our surreal squad, as we call them.
Mhm.
So, something I have hypothesized on since basically Feyre got under the mountain
Yeah.
is I think that Sarah is doing something really smart on a metaphoric level of Feyre is kind of embodying the idea of a labyrinth with these
Mhm.
three tasks, right? And like for those who don't know, labyrinths are a Greek mythology. They stem from Greek mythology with the, Minotaur and everything. And they're kind of this metaphor for like going within oneself into like oftentimes the darkest places of themselves to find your truest form, right?
Mhm.
And I think it was when she was first coming under the mountain, it was, like, described as, like, kind of a labyrinth of tunnels, and that's, like, what got me thinking about it, and then I realized you could make the argument that each one of the tasks are kind of a labyrinth, a part of this labyrinth, right? That
Yeah.
she's having to face, and each one represents a different thing, and I think they represent mind, body, and soul. So the first task with the monster, that was body, right? Like that was purely physical. I mean, she did have to use her mind to like figure out how to
Yeah.
kill it, but like it was a
Yeah.
mostly physical task.
Yeah.
The second task was absolutely mind because she
Yep.
had to
Yep.
figure out a riddle, right?
Mhm.
This is soul.
Yeah.
She has to kill off a part of herself, this very innocent part of herself, and literally face killing the male she loves,
Right.
right? And weigh the options of, I mean, because the entire reason she's under the mountain is to save Tamlin, right?
Yeah, but even before she knows that Tamlin's the third one, like, even
Yeah.
before we get to that,
Yes. It's
even before
still
that happens,
yes.
the 2 kills she has to do before that
Oh,
is
brutal.
just yeah.
It's I mean, that for sure is killing off part of her soul, but then, like, for it to be Tamlin at the end, it's like the whole point was to save him, and now, especially, I think because of the conversation she had with Rhys at, like, in the night before,
Mm,
she's like, it's not just I mean, she's always known the Spring Court was at stake, but now it's not just Tamlin and the Spring Court, it's
it's
all of
all of them.
Prythian.
Yeah.
And so oh, this was the other thing, Corinne, I realized this while reading. I, like, basically screamed. I was like, "David, I did not mean to do this. This is the trolley problem."
Girl, no, 1,000%. I literally have that
Yes.
written in my notes of just like, I can't wait to tell Ariel, like, you
Yeah,
realize that we got to it, right? Like,
I
we
know.
got to the trolley problem. This is
And even
literally what is happening.
even knowing that this was the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, as I'm reading this, I just, for some reason,
I just
hadn't
like
realized
didn't.
that. No. And then I'm like, "Oh my god, it's literally the trolley problem. Holy fucking shit."
Yeah.
So that was really funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I literally, like, she has this thing where it's basically like, okay, like 3 innocents for my own future,
Mhm.
for Tamlin and his court, the freedom of an entire land.
Yep.
Like, this is exactly the trolley problem of that. If she does not murder these 3 Fae, then nothing, all of this was for naught.
It's an even more fucked up trolley problem because, like, the whole idea with the trolley problem is it's, like, multiple people who are strangers and then one person you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Well, in this case,
And then
one of
once
the
she
3
gets to Tamlin,
people
yeah.
yeah. Although, I mean, we'll get to it. Clever, clever girl, in the wise words of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But, yeah, it's this final task, even, like you said, putting the Tamlin of it
Yeah.
all aside, just
Yeah.
her thinking it's 3 strangers who are Fae,
Yeah.
so fucking brutal, and, like, how I think I
Mm.
forgot, even though, like, this chapter isn't actually that long, like, the amount of time spent on each of the first 2
Dude.
it's a lot of time, and it's brutal.
It's so brutal because she is just the back and forth is insane with her
Yeah,
head of,
yeah,
like, if this is, like, worth it
yeah.
or not, right? Like, she, like, has these moments where she was just like, like, "I wish I knew the name of," oh, no, she's like, well, yeah, it starts where she's like, "It wasn't like hunting. It wasn't for survival or defense. It was cold-blooded murder. The murder of them, of my very soul." This is 389.
Mhm.
But for Prythian, for Tamlin, for all of them here, for Alice and her boys. And she's like,
Yeah.
"I wish I knew the prayers or whatever." And
Oh,
she's like, "But I
yeah.
did not know those prayers or the names of our forgotten gods, only the names of those who would remain enslaved if I did not act."
Yep.
And she kind of goes through a list and then she's like, "These deaths would not be wasted, even if it would damn me forever." So it's
Yeah.
just like she's so, and even before that was when she was kind of like, "I'm going to kill 3 people for my happiness," but then she realizes like it's more than just her happiness. It is all of Prythian. But she even gets to a point where she's like, "No, wait, like I can't do it," because when Amarantha makes the guards take the bags off the head, right? And
Right.
it's the first Fae, it's the guy, and he's pleading
Yeah.
for him not to die. And she's looking at the colors of his eyes and all this stuff. And
Ugh.
she was just like, he's never going to see the sky if I don't kill him. But then she goes, well, but neither will any of these people if I don't kill him. And
Yeah.
so there's just this constant back and forth of just like, what do I do here? And then she just kind of starts this little personal mantra of like, okay, I have to do this, and he will not die in vain. He will not die in vain. Like, she just is kind of starting this, basically starting to like steel herself and starting to kind of numb herself to like the situation. And there's this one line that just I think perfectly encapsulates just the brutality of this all. And it's on 390 as well. And it's Feyre being like, kill a fairy, fall in love with a fairy, then be forced to kill a fairy to keep that love. She's like, it was brilliant and cruel, and she knew it. Like, take your emotions out of this.
Yeah.
Amarantha is like a fucking genius. Like
Yeah.
she is
Oh,
high level villain. You know what I
I
mean?
I
Like
kept
it is.
thinking, like, if she were in our world, she would need to either be, like, a lawyer, right? Or,
Yeah.
like, one of the Mindhunter FBI
Yeah.
agents, right? Like, she would fucking rock at, like,
Oh.
jobs like that, and unfortunately, she's not in our world, she's just an evil fucking
No.
female,
Yeah.
like,
She's
but,
just fucking evil, but she is oy.
well, and, like, I think what's interesting about this particular trial is this brings up a theme that's in all of Sarah J. Maas's series, which is like, you know, kind of what's that? I think it's a spot quote, like, "Do the needs of a few outweigh the needs of
Oh,
the many?"
yeah.
Right? That really is, especially when you're thinking about like those closest to you
Yeah.
versus like the many. That shows up
Yeah.
in different ways in all of her series.
Yeah.
And also, what I was thinking about during this, and this is just my own views, like I understand completely, and I probably would feel the same way as Feyre does of, like, having this moment of, like, it's so selfish of me to kill these 2 people, 2 Fae, so that I could be happy, but then she has that moment, like you
Yeah.
said, of, like, realizing, "No, but it's actually for everyone," and, like, it's just, and this is the cruelty of it, right? From Amarantha. The actual less selfish thing to do in this case is murder,
Yeah.
which is murder innocence, which is
Yeah.
wild.
Wild.
And it goes back to Sarah's like amazing writing of like she really puts her characters in these very
Dude.
specific impossible situations, and it's
Yeah.
what makes it so fucking compelling.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like I really
Absolutely.
can't think of many authors out there who like do as good of a job as she does, where it's like they're really like this is the most rock and a hard place
Bro.
I've in fiction that I think
Yeah.
I've read.
Oh, yeah, like, it's total like, basically what she ends up doing, which is, like, very bizarre, but
Yeah.
as a reader, you're sitting here being like, "Bitch, just fucking stab them all. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, just get
Yeah.
it done." Like,
Yeah.
literally, I found myself in this chapter like, "Okay, yeah, it's sad. Okay, cool. Can you just, like, stab like, let's go, let's go. Like, you are so close to, like, solving this." Yes, this sucks. You have to kill these fairy, but oh my god, all you have to do is kill these 3. That's the only task you have to do. You just got to stab them in the heart and like move along. Like, girl, this is like she could have given you like 6 more riddles to try to read and
Right.
solve for task number 3. Like, this is something you can accomplish. Like, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because I am not a bad person. I am not going to
Right.
go out and like murder people. But it is
No.
wild the position that you get put in because you're sitting here being like I found myself being like, okay, yes, it is sad, but can we just like move along here? You know, like I'm
Yes.
just like just stab them and let's like get it going. Um but she forces you to really sit in with the humanity and like you're basically realizing if she survives this,
Yeah.
right?
Which is a big if.
Which is a big if with how chapter 44 ends. If she survives this, she will never be the same.
No.
She will never be the same. This is gonna completely change her forever. I mean, it's funny because, when she gets to the second victim, she almost talks about how it's, like, more difficult that the woman
Yes.
is actually kind of,
Understanding.
like, understanding, which I find interesting because I feel like I would feel the exact opposite. I feel like if someone was pleading
Yeah.
like the first one does,
Yeah.
that would just fucking rattle me. But the fact that the second
Yeah.
woman is just, like, praying and actually kinda starts being like, "Girl, just get it done."
Yeah.
She starts, like, nodding at her, repeating certain phrases to be like, "Can like, please, I don't wanna be sitting in this." Like,
Yeah.
I actually think that would be easier for me because it means you're kind of, like, in it together, like, you're, like, making
Yeah.
this choice together, so
Yeah.
I found that that was fascinating that, like, that was, like, harder for
See, I
Feyre.
think I think I'm a Feyre in that
Okay.
I actually think I mean, you can't know until you're truly in
Oh,
that
I mean, yeah,
position,
how would we know?
but which, hope I never have to be, but, like, I think I understand at the very least why Feyre feels that way because it's like there is something so sad to someone understanding why they have to be a sacrifice, even though they
Mm,
don't want to be,
yeah.
obviously, and be like kind of accepting their fate. Like maybe I'd be in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
And because it's like, yeah, I think the pleading fairy,
Ugh.
like I could just like almost hear it.
I
And it's
know,
just
I know.
it's a different form of torture, right?
Mhm.
But then to be like, oh, you get it, you understand, like, I think the part that would be hard is I would not feel worthy of that
Ah,
understanding.
I see.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, but that one, I mean, both hurt, I think, on just such different levels. And I mean, I think the other thing about the second fairy is like the prayer she does and how
Ugh.
it like flashes Feyre back to the blue
Yeah.
fairy.
Yeah.
Like that was really, really, I mean, she straight up says, because also like the whole religious aspect of it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
On page 392, she says, I knew that whatever mother she meant would never embrace me. In
Mm,
saving Tamlin, I was to damn myself.
yeah.
Like, which I think, from a reader standpoint, I'm sitting there going like, no, girl, I think the mother would understand,
I think the
right?
mother would understand.
But she, of course, isn't going to feel
No.
that way.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
mean, this is a very, while I was kind of being, glib about it a little bit, like,
no.
if you were act still the reality of it is this is horrific. How, like, what else would you be thinking in your brain? You are immediately thinking like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to hell. I'm never going to be able to be a good human after this. Like, how can I ever live with myself? How can I?" And I think it's so interesting too how, like, her kind of final gift that I feel like she gives the 2 victims in her brain is this, like, I will attempt to paint their faces, like, forever.
Oh,
It's like, while she feels like she's losing her soul, there's, like, an aspect of her soul you can tell she's, like, trying to protect so she can honor these fae later. Like,
yes.
both of the first 2 victims, there is painting, uh, word usage and color and, like, all this kind of stuff of just, like, she literally says on 392, like, "No matter how many times I might try to paint her face." Like, Feyre has a plan to immortalize these 2 victims,
Yeah.
because it's the only way she can figure out how to, like, cope with this and, like, make this
Yeah.
okay, and, like, God, does it just hurt your heart. Even the amount of times that Sarah uses words like, fracture and, like, I wanted to get out of my body and, like, all this stuff, like, Farah is being destroyed, like, from the inside out, and I think what is interesting too is all the while this is happening, Rhysand kind of, like, appeared on the throne right before while Farah was, hesitating with the first victim, right? And there's this moment where she feels like through the bond, he's like, "Do it. Like, just get this done." And what I also think is really interesting is this hesitancy that Rhysand and Feyre start feeling once she kills the first 2 victims, because
Yeah.
Amarantha is just sitting over there smiling like a fucking cat,
Yep.
and it's because the 3rd victim is fucking Tamlin.
They both, I think, feel there's another shoe that's gonna drop, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, as hard, like you pointed out, as hard as this is on a mental, emotional, spiritual level for Feyre, it is, if you take away the ethics of it, right?
Yeah.
It is the easiest task
Yeah.
on a purely, like, just
Action
getting it
level.
done
Yeah.
action level,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, she just has to stab them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why they're like, something's going on here. Like, she's not just gonna let us walk out free this easy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, then the third sack is taken off the third person or the third fae, and it's Tamlin, which is just like, I remember reading this for the
Yeah.
first time and just being like, I think it's so, I actually can picture it. I remember I was sitting on my couch where I am right now. David was, I think, playing a video game. I like was listening on my headphones while
Right.
playing like Animal Crossing. And I was just screaming, "What? What is, like, what?"
Yeah.
Like, I was blown, especially because there's no way we would have thought it would be Tamlin because we think Tamlin is sitting right next to Amarantha, and
Yeah.
then it turns out it's the adder.
Yeah, which makes the whole moment when Amarantha is like, "Any last words for your lover?" and, like, he
Yeah.
doesn't say anything, it makes that feel much better because 'cause you're like,
Yes.
"Okay, Tamlin was never up there, thank
No.
God. I don't know if I can handle any more quiet Tamlin," you know? Like,
Right.
this is just like, God damn it. So, yeah, we never would have guessed that because the adder is
No.
up there. Yeah, makes the sting of him not saying anything a little bit easier, but it is just
Yeah.
like, as a reader, before you get to the end of this chapter or then the beginning of chapter 44 when you realize that his heart is like stone.
Yeah.
Before you get there, you're sitting there just like, "Oh my god,
Like,
she's the
how
worst." She had
yeah.
never there was never any in cuz you have like multiple stages, right? Your first response is like, "Fuck you." Like you had no intention of letting these two people, these two beings be together. You had
Yeah.
no intention of letting this happen. What the fuck? How is she supposed to do this? And then as you slowly work through, you're like, but wait a minute. Does Amarantha is either being extremely ballsy
And
and trust
self-destructive.
and trusting that Feyre will not stab him
Yep.
because we all know Amarantha wants Tamlin. So it's
Right.
like she is either really putting a lot on the fact that she thinks Feyre won't stab him, or there is more to play here. There's more, there's something underneath. And I'm really glad that like Farah kind of like works through all of those thoughts. Like she's kind of like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, like why would like she starts thinking about that, about how like she thinks about how the adder says like, you know, Milady doesn't make like deals that that don't benefit her. Like she
Yes.
doesn't do that. And so Fair is like kind of working through all of this stuff. And I'm so like this is another moment where you go back to just being utterly impressed with Feyre
Ugh.
because she just
Such a smart cookie.
she's such a smart cookie. But also baby girl is in a headspace of like she's in a suicidal headspace. She's already thinking like, how am I going to
Yeah.
live with myself after this? I think after I kill the third
Oh,
person,
yeah.
I'm just going to kill myself because like
Yeah.
what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then she sees her lover and then she's like, then all of a sudden baby girl steps back mentally and
Mhm.
starts thinking it through. Fuck
Well, and
off. Like, wow. So
what
impressive.
I love too is the thing that gets her to realize it is Alice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because on pages 394 and 395, she says, Alice. Alice had said something, something to help me. A final part of the curse, a part they couldn't tell me, a part that would aid me. All she'd been able to do was tell me to listen to what I'd heard, and if I'd already learned everything I needed. And I think what's so wild to me about that is like how she goes from, like, listen to, like, Heart of Stone, right? Like, the
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I could never.
I could
I
never.
could never. Like, her first off, her memory recollection,
Oh,
so impressive,
wild.
right? Like, she remembers exact quotes from people.
Yeah.
Like when Lucien says, "For someone with a heart of stone, yours is certainly soft these days." To when the Adder, when he came to visit the Spring Court, says, "Though you have a heart of stone, Tamlin, you certainly keep a host of fear inside." Like to remember that, like two separate Fae have
Yeah.
said "heart of stone,"
Yeah.
like really, like seemingly innocuous times that she
Yeah.
also wasn't, in theory, meant to hear. Then she's like, "Wait a minute, was I not meant to hear that? Maybe I was meant to hear that." Because she's like, it's really convenient that they were talking pretty loudly with like the doors open when normally
Yep.
they wouldn't be open. Tamlin made sure I was nearby the adder when that happened. Like
Yep.
she starts to realize maybe that was planned because he couldn't say it.
Yep.
And then to remember every time I've held Tamlin, I can't remember ever hearing a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, fucking brilliant. During and it's one of those things where, like, I feel there's kinda, like, 2 different types of people, right? And, like, both
Mhm.
are very valid. Like, they're the people and I think I'm probably one of these people where, like, when shit hits the fan, my mind is just scrambled, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, like I'm
Oh,
not gonna
yeah.
work things out.
Totally.
And then they're the Feyre types, who, like, when they're put into a pressure cooker, that's kind of when they do their best thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because also, not only does she remember this, and we'll get to it in a second, she then goes on to solve the fucking riddle. Like, all
Yeah.
within a span of, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah. I think you said it perfectly there, and that I think that we are constantly shown that Feyre is really a clutch player, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where when she is put in the shit, she can come out on top. Like
She thrives.
she thrives. It's fucking insane. Like
Yeah.
because yeah, I completely agree. For her to just be standing there staring at Tamlin and start like she starts off debating with just like, okay, cool, so I'll just kill him, I'll kill myself, but
Right.
everyone will be free, we'll all be dead, but whatever, it'll end quickly, to then like, what did Alice say about like, it's just like you do honestly have a few moments as a reader of like, yeah, okay,
Right.
Sarah, yeah, sure,
She makes it believable.
but we also have been shown that Feyre, like, look at what she did in the first task. Like,
Yeah.
look at like some so it's just
It's
like
established.
it's been established. This is
Yeah.
pretty insane, this level of like
Sure.
remembering. But, she also is a painter and she's been able to recreate landscapes from different things. Like I think it kind of goes along with some of these other things that we've been presented with Feyre, of that
Yeah.
like her ability to remember certain things is what makes her a good painter, but it also is probably what makes her a good hunter and makes her like,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
She's also young, and, like, young people tend to have better memories than,
Oh,
like,
yes, the
those of us
memories
who are
of the
aging.
younglings. Oh, yeah, so
Yes.
spry, those young
Right.
those young ones. But yeah, because I think I'm so glad you brought it up, because I think one of my favorite things is when she's like, "Oh, he wanted me to eavesdrop." It's when she
Yeah.
starts doing all these little things of like, "Wait a minute, like, he," and she also talks about how he mentions that that's as much as he can tell her. Like, she
Yes.
remembers that he says stuff of like, "I never lied to you, like, intentionally," or
Yeah.
like, um, on purpose, or like she starts realizing that he's kind of said all this stuff, and she's realizing like that at the end of the day, she trusts Tamlin.
Right.
And she trusts that she heard correctly. She
Mhm.
trusts that Tamlin had been smarter than Amarantha. And she trusts that this is not in vain. And what I love is this moment where it's on 396 and she's like, "The revelation must have been clear on my face, for his breathing became a bit quicker and he lifted his chin." And then
Mhm.
a little bit later it says, "But there was a faint smile on Tamlin's lips as I stood over him, ash dagger in hand." And I love this moment because again, we're getting finally some like recognition from Tamlin. And I really do feel like it's Tamlin being like, "Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just do it.
You
Just
got
do
it.
it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it." Like just
Yep.
just get it going.
It's so good. Well, and also, I think aside from, like, obviously, the most important thing of, like, her solving all of this, right, and winning the final trial when she does it, on a character development level, this is massive because she says right after that, there was such a thing as fate because
Yeah.
fate had made sure that I was there to eavesdrop when they'd spoken in private because fate had whispered to Tamlin that the cold, contrary girl he dragged to his home would be the one to break his spell because fate had kept me alive just to get to this point, just to see if I had been listening. Like, that is a massive step in character
Yeah.
development. This is as she said before, godless human
Yeah.
who is now believing in things like fate and the cauldron and the
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
Like, that's a spiritual journey she has gone
Totally.
through. And it pays off because she stabs Tamlin,
Yep.
right? We get a nice little cliffhanger at the end of chapter
Yeah.
43. Go
Yeah.
into chapter 44 where immediately it says, "But there was a faint thud and a stinging reverberation in my hand as the dagger struck something hard and unyielding."
Yep.
Because it's exactly what she thought. His heart was turned into stone.
Yeah, and what's so crazy too is like she pulls the blade out and it says like its tip had been
Oh,
nicked
yeah.
and turned inward on itself. And I feel like the final one too is Rhysand at the foot of the dais grinned from ear to ear.
Yes.
Like to me, that feels like the final like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like we did it. We did it. Like,
Yes.
yes, we're
I
right.
like
Cause like like freaking Rhysand's over there just like, little Cheshire cat over there just like, "Nah."
I, like, half expected him, like a fucking football bro, to just,
Yeah.
like, take off his shirt and be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
the joy is very, very momentary because holy fucking shit. So I would like us to
Yep.
recall
Yep, 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 yep,
back at the
yep, yep.
beginning of Feyre Under the Mountain
You know, every
after
now and
she
then I wonder if it's actually really worth it for me to even be in this podcast sometimes, because the amount of times where like you are literally going to say like the exact same thing that I'm going to say. I'm joking. Of course we should do
I
this
know,
together.
yes.
But I'm more just saying like it's so funny to me.
Oh, you do like,
Anyway,
we do it to
please
each
go.
other, it's so funny.
No, I know.
So, yeah, if you recall, after it's when Feyre is first put into her cell
Mhm.
after the first her introduction to Amarantha,
Yeah.
she's ruminating a lot on, "Okay, well, Amarantha said if I solve the riddle, then we get out let out immediately, but she never said that about the trials.
Right.
Is this going to be a problem?" And she was absolutely fucking right. It was a problem.
Yeah.
She at that point, she had spent enough time with Faye to understand, like, they are tricky with their words, right?
Yep.
And like, I cannot fault her for not thinking of that in the moment. I mean, like, girl was processing a lot
Oh,
while in that throne room.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Amarantha, there is a carton of eggs on her face when
Dude.
Feyre solves this or finishes this trial, calls her bluff, and she says, "I'll free them whenever I see fit." Fairy didn't specify when I had to when I had to free them. I just that I had to at some point, perhaps when you're dead. You assumed that when I said instantaneous freedom regarding the riddle, it applied to the trials too, didn't you? Foolish, stupid human. She is pissed.
Dude.
She
Dude.
never thought, she
No.
never had on her bingo card that this teenage human would get through all the trials. Like, I do think Amarantha was shocked that she passed the first 2, but she never in a million years thought
I don't think she
she
ever
would
thought that she would
no.
stab Tamlin. I don't think she
Nope.
ever thought she would do that. And while clearly she had a um
Contingency plan.
thank you. Yes, she had a contingency basically because she's right. She never said that she would immediately free everyone after. Um but you can just tell like it's that really scary moment when someone who's kind of crazy actually gets furious
Yep.
because they've been, like, embarrassed. Like,
Yeah.
that is a terrifying moment, and she is like, Feyre did win, and Amarantha, like you said, obviously had no plan of that happening, and I think one thing that we have not really been bringing up a lot in these chapters is Jurian, is the eye
Yeah.
on the ring.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of really icky moments where, you know, Amarantha like will raise her ring so Jurian can see something that Feyre's doing. And it's always just like, it's kind of this constant reminder that like this torture isn't just for Feyre, it's also for Jurian, right? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like I feel like Amarantha feels like anything she does to any human is also she's doing it to Jurian as well.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the scarier moments in this chapter is right after she says that line that Ariel just read.
Yeah.
And then it says, Jurian's eye was going wild within the ring, his pupil dilating and shrinking. And I think this is like, as a reader, this is us being, we're Jurian knows that Amarantha is about to go off and that
Oh,
things are not safe. And it is very, very, very bad of what is about to happen. And I just wanted to bring him up because I feel like we haven't there's a lot of it's a lot of little sentences here and there that happen, but I just for some
yes.
reason this moment really struck me because I really feel like it's almost Jurian trying to like warn Feyre kind of,
Yeah. Oh
but
my
like
god, yeah.
not but all he can
Can't do
do is
anything.
like shake and dilate. Like that's literally all he can do, but it's also just this from a experience standpoint, it really starts building up this like climactic moment because you can see this, right? Like you can
Yeah.
see this big bad slowly walking down the steps. And I also think it's interesting that Sarah has a lot of Amarantha's lines here italicized. And
Yes.
so I have to admit in my mind, because she also says, like, snarled, I imagine a lot of Amarantha's maybe this is my sound moment.
Mm.
I imagine a lot of Amarantha's what she's saying a lot here is in this kind of, like, low, just like, "I'm going to
Oh,
kill you.
interesting.
I'm going to make you pay for your insolence." While
Yeah.
Feyre is screaming. I do think
Yeah.
eventually we get some, um like, exclamation points, and I do like,
Yeah.
towards the end, like, when she's like, "Say that you don't love him,"
Yeah.
like, all this stuff, I think that's when she's, like, truly screaming, because that's when the stuff she's doing to Feyre is, like, the most intense, but
Yeah.
I just think it's this, like, not controlled, because she's not controlled right now, but it's
No.
almost this, like it's almost like Amarantha is numb, because she is just so no, numb isn't the right word either. I just feel like it's just Amarantha is so
Like she's seeing red.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She is seeing red and she has crossed over. And I just think it's so fascinating that Amarantha's biggest thing is just say you don't love him.
Right? She can't accept that, like, Tamlin doesn't want her. It's so funny that, like, in your mind, and I think it's way more dynamic the way you read it, like, the buildup from, like, kind of like this, like, like, low,
Yeah.
like, not gentle, but, like,
Yeah.
tamer, tone of voice to, like, then
Yeah.
screaming. Because in my mind, this is gonna be such a weird comparison. I imagine she immediately goes batshit in the way that in Mean Girls when Regina George
Dude,
figures out the
no, that is
bars.
such a good I actually think that is a brilliant comparison,
I just
honestly.
hear her like, Rachel McAdams' scream in that
So
scene
good.
when she, like, goes and writes Katie in the burn book. It's so, like, it just sticks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so high pitched, and that's how I picture Amarantha screaming, because and I think it's because, like, to me, Amarantha is such a Regina George, right?
Yes.
In
Yes.
that, like, she kind of she's already been embarrassed by just
Yeah.
Feyre winning this, and then she's so crazy that she doesn't even realize she's embarrassing herself further
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
screaming all the shit, like, especially, like, when you said she's screaming, "Admit you don't love him. Say you don't love him." It's just like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
Oh
Like,
my
th
god. Yeah.
this is a whole nother level.
This is like honey.
Yeah.
Ooh. Because yeah, and then she's and like also just she really just like she really believes that humans are just fucking dirt, right? Because she
Yeah.
even says like, "What are you but mud and bones?" And she's like, "What are you compared to our kind?" Like she's just and what's wild is at this point, the fairies are yelling foul play. The
Yeah.
fairies are literally being like, "No, you're a cheater." And she literally screams at the fairies, calling them scheming, filthy pigs.
Yep.
So, bring us back a second. Amarantha is supposed to be over here getting troops for the King of Hybern,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what the big moment with the pig dude is
Yes.
about of like, yeah, we're not like High King isn't super stoked about this like little game Amarantha is playing. Are we
Right.
still gonna get like are the High Lords still going to work with her to give us these troops to what we can only imagine is to like take over the human portion of these lands? Like
Yeah.
so like if you go back to think about what is really the main reason why she's here, and now she's screaming at all of them, calling them filthy pigs because a human beat her, like, girl,
Well, it just proves it's all about ego for her, right?
100%.
It's
Yeah.
entirely her ego. The other thing, and
Yeah.
this was pretty I don't know if I'd say it's surprising, but it's really telling, I think,
I think it's a little
was
surprising, like, the level
yes,
that it
yes,
gets
the
to.
level.
Yeah.
Rhysand.
Yeah.
So Rhysand, first off, he screams her name, no, roars it, according to Feyre,
Roars. Yes.
and then he yells it again, and she says, "Rhysand yelled my name again," yelled as though he cared.
Yeah.
And this is at the point when Amarantha is, like, just beating the shit out of Feyre. Like, she's, like,
Oh, yeah.
levitating her and, like,
Dropping
dropping her
her.
body down,
Mhm.
like
She's, like,
And I
stopping Feyre from blacking out so she can experience all the
yeah,
pain
oh,
that she's inflicting on her.
that is so insane.
So insane.
Then Rhysand gets the knife, one of the ash knives,
Mhm.
and launches himself at Amarantha. So he
Mhm.
risks his life,
Mhm.
right? But unfortunately, Amarantha has put up this sort of like protective dome around her,
Yeah.
right? And like she lifts him and then like blasts him away, right?
Yeah.
Um and then starts beating him,
Yeah.
which is crazy. To
Yeah.
the point where Feyre on page 401 says, "The bond between us went taut. I flashed between my body and his, seeing myself
Yeah.
through his eyes, bleeding and broken and sobbing," which is that's new.
That's
What
new. Who knew we could do that? That is a
and
whole new sitch. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think what's crazy is like we don't even have time. Like we don't have time to
No.
even like process that.
No.
Like
We
that's
have
a
no, it's literally like you read it and you're like, "Okay, moving on." Like,
we're
yeah,
gonna
you
come
don't
back to that later if we even
exactly, like,
can.
I hope we
Like
can. Exactly.
yeah.
Like, you're like, "I hope I have the emotional capacity to come back to this later," because at this
Or
point,
the
our
ability,
baby yeah,
because Feyre might be dead.
yes, like, our baby girl's getting broken apart,
Yes.
and also, part of one of the reasons why they realize things are wrong is that in the beginning of the chapter, right, like, Tamlin, he's healing, but he's not healing as fast as he should be, meaning that his
No.
powers haven't been returned, and
Right.
so all the while this is happening, while I wish he was doing a bit more, he is, like, bleeding out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Tamlin's bleeding out. Feyre is being tossed up and down, and then Rhys all of a sudden is getting thrown all around. His head gets cracked against the stone. He literally can't move. Feyre yells for him to get to stop for
Yeah.
Amarant. She says stop to help
Yeah.
Rhysand, and then this bond moment, and you're just like, what is
And then
even?
so all the while Amarantha is still screaming, "Say you don't love him," right?
Yeah, yeah,
And Feyre, and I truly don't know how to feel about this because on the one hand, my little romantic heart is like, "Good for you, girl," but on the practical side, I'm like, "Just lie."
yeah,
On page 401, she says, "But I wouldn't say it because loving Tamlin was the only thing I had left, the only thing I could sacrifice." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Jesus fucking Christ." Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that we also have to like remember is that like she did just kill 2 Fae. And I
yeah,
think she's kind of in a headspace of like
just I want to
just like
die.
fuck the world, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and if she knows, and at this point, I think Feyre is like, I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
am
that's
not
true.
going to like she has nothing to lose at this point, I think. I think Feyre is very like, yeah, like
She's going to die with as
obviously
much dignity as she has left.
exactly, and so because I was with you on one, and, like,
Yeah.
I had a moment too where I was like, "Baby girl, just fucking say it, like, so this shit is
Yeah.
over." But then I realized, like, that's if you think you're gonna survive.
Yeah.
Feyre is like,
No.
"Nah, I'm dying, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep the love." But also, that headspace is what makes her realize is what helps her solve the riddle. Her
Yep.
constantly in this head being like, "No, because loving him was the only thing I wouldn't sacrifice," and how, like and, like, you know, she looks at Tamlin's eyes and the color of his eyes and then talking about knowing true happiness uh, and then all this stuff, and all of a sudden she was like that's when she starts breaking down the riddle,
Yeah.
right? While she is being broken apart, she's
Yeah.
seeing the because of her love for Tamlin, right? Like the through each of my strikes lands a powerful though each of my strikes lands a powerful blow. When I kill, I do it slow. You know, but
Mhm.
scorned, I become difficult beast to defeat. Um, you know, but I bless all those who are brave enough to dare. And
Yeah.
like, so what's funny, what's darkly funny,
Yeah.
is by Amarantha putting her through pain,
Yeah.
landing strikes,
Yeah.
killing her slowly, continuing to force Feyre to dare to love.
Yep.
She is like slowly giving Feyre the answers of the riddle, which
Yeah.
still goes back to what Arrow and I were talking about. Like the fact that baby girl is being thrown up and down, bones being broken, all like literally she's like she's saying like the borders of her vision, like we are losing her. Like she
Yes.
is being slowly broken apart by power, whether Amarantha's throwing power at her or she's being thrown at a wall. Baby girl still has the headspace to just like break apart a riddle in her head.
Something I actually realized as we were talking about this, that actually, look, I am no scientist, so scientists
Oh,
write
okay.
in
I think I know where you're
cauldronservice
going with this.
gmail.com.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, there are certain chemicals like released in your brain when you're dying.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I don't know if it's been confirmed or if it's just a theory, like why people tend to see their life flash before their eyes as they're dying and like things like that.
Yeah.
So, in theory, like maybe some weird chemical was released in her brain because she was dying. So,
Yeah.
like, that could be it. But regardless of the reason,
Dude.
right? She fucking figures it out.
Yeah. While Tamlin's been slowly bleeding out, he does kind of finally join the party, right? And starts begging, right? So we finally get like a Tamlin begging, which is like pretty intense.
Rough.
Um, I also feel like it's the combination of him begging what he is daring to do for his love for her. I think it's the
Yes.
combination, it's like a perfect storm of all these things happening that make Feyre be like, huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, it's insane. And she solves it.
She solves it, which real quick before we get to the end of this chapter, so we can finally tell our good spoiler-free friends, uh, this riddle is one of those, it's kind of like canon within the fandom. Most people either get it pretty immediately after Amarantha gives it at first, or they don't find out. They don't realize until Feyre
Yeah.
finds out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I I solved it pretty quickly. I think within a chapter or two of hearing it. I don't think I realized the answer like right when Amarantha said it for the first time. I think it was like the next chapter I did.
Yeah.
And it was kind of for similar reasons Feyre realizes it because like maybe not exactly. I know at one point Feyre was saying like maybe it's this disease or it's this or that. Like it was all bad things. And I'm
Very
like,
like
okay, well,
literal.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the exact opposite
Yeah.
of that. And then I
Yeah.
went and reread it. I'm like, oh, it's love,
Yeah.
right? And which is like, I truly don't think like whether or not you figured it out immediately or not, I don't think that determines anything about like
No,
a person's intelligence
I
at
don't think
all.
so either. Yeah.
No. It's just it is really fun to kind of
Yeah.
like ask like, when did you figure it out? Or did
Yeah.
you? Like,
Yeah.
but regardless, Feyre figures it out.
Mhm.
But is it too late?
It's such a brutal ending sentence to this chapter. Tamlin's eyes went wide before something forever cracked in my spine. And
Yeah.
also, like, is Rhysand good? Like, is he?
I don't know.
And like, is Tamlin healing? Like I'm so like, are we ending this with potentially just like the three of them just like dying?
Everyone dead. I don't know,
Everybody
man.
dead.
But I think the more important question is who are the bigger assholes, Amarantha or us, for making
I know.
everyone end on this? Because wow, this I mean, what a climax for a book, first
What a
off.
climax for a book.
And let me
It's
tell you,
insane.
without spoiling anything, in terms of the Akatar books, this ain't even the
This ain't
craziest
even it.
one.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
I would say the next two books have like the wildest climaxes.
Yeah, they're pretty intense.
They're insane, but this one is still insane.
So wild.
We will find out if Feyre solved the riddle in time next week because your chapters for next week are the final two.
Your homework is to finish the book.
Yeah. Oh my. It's so weird saying that.
So weird.
Like, I just got like a little shiver up my
I
spine.
know.
Like, oh,
When did we
it feels
start?
right and wrong. Well, okay, we technically started in January with the
Because that's when we
pilot.
started recording.
Yeah, but we like spent several months like editing it.
Right.
So we launched in May.
Yeah. Wow, what a time.
It's been like
Wow.
half a year?
Yeah, it's
No,
been
maybe
like,
not quite that long.
well, I mean,
Maybe.
if we started recording and if we discuss it from like when we started recording
Yeah.
to when we will end recording, it
Yeah.
will have been over half a year.
Oh, it'll be almost like I think
A full
3
year.
months shy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, well,
What a journey.
so sorry I know, what a journey. So sorry we ended it like this. Although I have a feeling many of you just finished it, which all power to you. If you didn't, You are strong, strong, strong humans.
You're one of God's strongest soldiers, as they say.
Yeah, dear God.
um, you
Um
can commiserate with us over on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Cauldron Save Us Pod. We would also love it. We're finally getting to the end of the book. You know how good
Yeah.
this book is now. Even if you're just beginning the series.
Mhm.
So tell your friends about us. Tell your enemies about us. Tell everyone about us. And you can tell them that they can rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, just found out today on iHeartRadio, which is really exciting.
Woo!
Um, Possibly some other podcast platforms.
Mhm.
And then you can email us at cauldronsaveus@gmail.com.
Yep.
Man,
Well,
I'm already mentally preparing for the end of this
I know.
season.
I know. It's so
What a
weird.
journey.
What a journey. What a journey. Well, on that note, kids, as always, you're welcome.
And we are so sorry.
So sorry.
Bye.
Bye.